here with Juan Holiday of the Secret B-Sides. We are actually filming outside or inside here at Studio L. You are tuned into imavl.com. And we're here to ask Juan a few questions. My first question, Juan, is are you originally from the Asheville area?
I'm originally from Tucson, Arizona, and then I came out to Asheville to go to college at Warren Wilson, and so that's been about 10 years, I think, now since I moved to Swannanoa and then eventually moved to Asheville. So I've really been a real Asheville. I've actually lived in Asheville for about 6 years.
Okay. What did you study at Warren Wilson? I
studied global studies with a concentration in Latin America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you moved here, I guess you said about 10 years ago, to go to Warren Wilson. When you were at Warren Wilson, I'm just wondering if there were any bands that inspired you while you were there or during your first few years here to kind of start.
Yeah. Jari, I think. Jari was like frightening how good he was
totally.
and is. Yeah, Jari for sure. Like the first Jari show that I think when he had his CD release party at the Great Eagle where we're doing our show this Friday, when he had a CD release party for what was it, War Songs in the Muse, it made me feel like quitting music altogether. I told him that. I was just like, that was so good. It seriously made me feel like quitting. And then he's like, no, don't quit, Yeah. And I was like, whatever. You're like, you're just, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jari, I think that's the main one. I mean, I didn't really know about Two Bob Crew until after I was done with school. I think they didn't start until after I graduated. But Jari and then the Barrel House Mamas were very inspiring. And Pierce Edens. I think those were the main ones. Those were the big ones.
A whole crew of awesome people. When did you first pick up music?
Well, my dad was a musician, and he would sing in the showers and like rap in the showers and always making up songs. So like I was always around hearing him do stuff, and so I would always chime in. I'd make up my own little melodies or little parts of songs and kind of chime in. And he was also a drummer. Like he played hand drums and congas and djembes and all different kinds of drums or percussion on any surface that made a good sound. And so definitely had a lot of that like concept of what rhythm is from a very early age. And then I started actually wanting to write songs and play guitar in middle school when I got into like the alternative music scene of Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins and Stone Temple Pilots and Primus and that stuff. That's what was like. I was like, oh yeah, I wanna. That's what made me want to be like a rock star. That's what was like. I can do this. Just buy some guitars and start figuring it out.
So you started playing the guitar at an early age, middle school.
About 13, yeah.
Okay.
About 13.
And you just mentioned some of your influences, or at least who made you want to feel like a rock star. You have a very smooth and sultry voice. Is there anyone particularly that that you kind of vibe from?
Well, the people that I actually wanted to sound like when my songwriting matured was Ben Harper and Nick Drake and Gillian Welch and people like that, people with the smooth kind of quiet. But that's also, it's not, I didn't as much pick that as much as I realized that was my strength, was having that quiet, smooth tone and just having really good, good tone. That was my strength, so I went with that.
Yeah, nice. Now, those of you tuned in, I'm not sure if you're aware that Juan Holiday and the Secret B-Sides won the 2011 Best of WNC for local bands, best local band in the soul and the R&B category. I'm wondering, who are some of your favorite local musicians? I know you mentioned Jari and the Bear House Mamas. Anybody that's out right now that you're like, you enjoy going to see?
Yeah. DJ music, I like some of the DJ like stuff that's going on. Like I like Nigel One, although he's no longer in town. I really liked the stuff that he was doing. Geez, it's like, it's overwhelming. I really, really appreciate Moses Atwood.
Mm-hmm.
I think he blows me away every time I see him, and really I don't go out that much. Like, if it's being a parent, you don't get to go out that much, but being a musician and a parent makes it so it's like I almost never go out. But I like I only go out, I don't go out to other people's shows. When I do go out, it's like, so there's not that, I'm not really that familiar with, I'm not that familiar with what Asheville has to offer, which makes me really excited about I Am AVL, because I can be at home, on an off night and watching like what happened last Friday, or watch the Tuesday jams and stuff like that. So I'm excited about I am AVL. It'll hopefully catch me up on what's actually happening.
Yeah, nice.
The music scene.
So as we were talking about, there's lots of musicians here in Asheville. What do you think brings people here?
I don't know. I think it's the environment. I think it's the trees and the hills and like the water. I think that's the first thing, and possibly there's crystals, giant crystals underneath Asheville that like transmit a certain frequency that brings all the hippies here.
Is that what you? Is that,
that's my true belief. No, I mean I've just heard it. I've just heard that a lot, and I'm starting to. I'm like believing more and more out there stuff.
Yeah.
The older I get.
Yeah, nice.
So I wouldn't doubt it if there are crystals, but there doesn't have to be crystals. It's a beautiful place. There's probably some magical stuff here too. I believe in magic.
Yeah. What is it that you love about Asheville?
What
has kept you here?
I think what's kept me here is the people. It's like I went home after college, and I went back to Tucson. Used my degree, worked for a nonprofit. Kind of follow through with my plan, the whole life plan that I had, and I got there, and I was just like, I was kind of sad being in Tucson. I was like, all my friends are in Asheville. My whole, my life is in Asheville, so I just went back. I just came back. I hopped a Greyhound. I only had like a couple $100 to my name, so I hopped a Greyhound and came back to Asheville. And now that I'm here, there's been like every year something else happens that kind of makes me more at home here. So it deepens the longer I stay, for sure.
How has Asheville's music scene changed since you've been here in the last 10 years? How have you noticed a difference?
Jeez, I don't really know. It just seems like, I don't know. I mean, there's some bands that seems like I don't know. There's definitely been a change of like who's here. Some bands have left. Some bands have come here. Some bands have changed. Their lineups have changed. I feel like increasingly there's more opportunities here to kind of work your way up, to larger venues, work your way up to, like the River, 98.1 The River, they've got a locals only show. All the major radio outlets have kind of like a local, everyone appreciates local. So I think there's more and more appreciation for local scene, what's going on. I think I Am AVL is a big part of that. I'm really excited about what's probably going to happen with this. So.
Nice. And some advice that you might have for some musicians that are just starting out, whether they're just starting out or they're just moving to Asheville or...
Sure. I think the biggest thing, aside from just being a musician and like taking that time by yourself or with your friends that you have to take to continue progressing as a musician and as a songwriter, performer, aside from that, just being very patient with people, being like a people, try to develop your how you interact with other people, because that's really what like the music industry, as far as the music industry that I want to be a part of, is where like people treat each other well and keep their word. And I think that's how we can like create an Asheville kind of community of music, and that's why we're here in the room right now. Yeah, it's for that kind of keeping, be nice to other people and keep your word, be on time if you can, and just be cool, patient, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd say, like, I don't know, like, my own belief is that you can, like, pray. I mean, I think also for any musician, I'd say, like, call in, like, more than just yourself and your friends and the stuff that you can see with your eyes, and like, there's music is very much about this other power, this otherworldly power coming into our world. And so, you know, finding a meaningful way to bring that, whether it's like you just sit and have tea or meditate or do your prayer, whatever it is, whatever religion it is, like, acknowledging that there's more to it than just, you know, the hard work that we put into it and stuff. There's something else going on, and that's why people want to come see, because you have a open channel that you're tending and caring for.
Yeah, I like that. You have talked a lot about the people here in Asheville, and I'm wondering, you have to the shows I've been to, you always have special guests. Mm-hmm. You have MCs coming up. You have, mm-hmm. you know, guest vocalists.
Sydney Barnes. It's like at every show, pretty much.
Yeah, Sydney Barnes is there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you could tell us about some of the people that are at your shows, if you want to tell us mm-hmm. Even a little bit about this show.
Sure.
Juan Holiday's playing this Friday,
yep.
the 6th.
The Great Eagle.
The Great Eagle, and so you should be there. And if you cannot be there, obviously tune in to imavl.com.
Yeah.
But maybe you could tell us a little bit about the show, who's going to be there, what your set's looking like.
Yeah, so we're doing this show we're going to have some of my songs on the front and on the end, and then in between we'll have our guests with their songs and their music, their performances, and I'll be more live of, like, I'll go from being a front man to being a side man, a hype man. So I really like to do that. So first we're gonna have, I think, Sydney is gonna perform some originals and some covers that he does really well, and that's gonna be kind of for the more mature crowd that likes to show up and then go to sleep by 10 p.m. or whatever.
Okay.
Then Sydney will be done, and then we'll do Preach Jacobs from South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. He's gonna be he's an MC that's worked with us quite a bit, and he'll be doing quite a few of his songs, and then we're gonna go on and do some Chach songs, or Chichili, that's his new name, but most people know him as Chach. But I think he's chilled out, so now he's Chichili instead of Chach.
Nice.
Something like that. But anyway, we're gonna do a set of his music, and he's doing really well right now. He's one person that that as an artist I've been very inspired by. He's got very natural talent, so he's definitely somebody that I'd like to give a shout out to. But then after that, we're gonna go back to my songs, and we're gonna have this guy named Red Ink come on and do this song called Thin Blue. He'll do that, and he'll be up for a couple other things. And then we're gonna throw a few surprises in there. Hopefully there'll be some MCs in the room that will just jump up and take the mic, and we'll do something spontaneous. So that's what we're gonna do.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Once again, that's Friday. This coming Friday, as in tomorrow,
that's
at
right.
the Great Eagle. And last thing I wanted to ask you before Juan's going to play a couple songs for us is your last album was Flowers and Chocolate.
Right.
And you released that last
April.
year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you working on something now? Do you have any upcoming tours?
Yeah. Well, we don't have any upcoming tours. We just got off of a tour, a week-long tour, which was awesome. But Flowers and Chocolate came out April 2012, and now we're putting out Easy Magic, which we don't really know when it's going to be finished, but it'll be in the next couple months, and we'll get that out to everybody as soon as we can.
So you're in the studio right now.
We're in studio right now, working on Easy Magic, and that's gonna be it's gonna be more of like a live sounding album, very close to our live show. So I'm very excited about that, and yeah, all new songs. And then we have another project coming up that's going to be all all rap. Basically, it's gonna be all rap beats, and that'll be very fun. So it'll be kind of like tonight's kind of like a sneak peek of what that project's gonna sound like and look like. Yeah,
that's exciting. All right, well, once again, we are here at Echo Mountain in Studio L. You're tuned into www.imavl.com, and Juan Holiday is going to play a couple songs for us. Check him out tomorrow night.
Thank you.
We're going to actually take a 30-second break.